it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.
Hey, everyone. I'm your host, Charlie Perry, and this is the Really Charlie Podcast. I just wanted to introduce you to a good guest here, a great guest. Has an awesome song out there, single rather, Alaura Lovelight. She's an American R&B singer. She actually has her own website. She does quite a few things, but just going to wait for her momentarily. Meanwhile, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a few other things until she gets on the air. But her single is called Eroticy. Very, very nice song. I like it. I played it on the radio this past week on WMB1 radio. And, she's got a million plays on TikTok with her song, her single. And she's doing good things. Great things. So I just wanted to just to invite you all to give me some more guests to come on the Really Charlie Podcast. We have some dates available. I mainly come on Wednesdays, and if the schedule is a little tight for my guests, what I try to do is accommodate them and do it throughout the week. Whether it be a Monday or Saturday, Sunday, whatever I can to get my guest on the Really Charlie Podcast. And so I'm looking for some new guests to fill in the blanks this coming month and actually into May and June. I'm trying to schedule those accordingly so I could be booked all the way up to June with my podcast. And I got some real good guests. Donna Cosme will be on Saturday. We have the president of the D League, the Women's D League. That's going to come on Wednesday, actually, this Wednesday. And going to introduce you and that you have a better understanding of what the D League is and what they're trying to do and this upcoming season, so it's going to be nice. Our own Lexi Barrows plays in the league, so it's going to be real nice to hear some more details about that league and where we got to try to support them locally because we do have a local team. And Ron Henderson on the 30th. Can't wait to get my buddy on here. Another talented artist. He's going to bring some of his music to the screen, whether it's through video or live. Cannot wait. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man? How's things? How's things going? Nice to see you, as always. All right, what's up? I see Facebook user because I'm on my PC. But hello. I appreciate everyone listening. Real nice. Let's see. So the March Madness is going crazy already, just the start of it. And our own Providence College is doing their thing. And in the Sweet 16, right? But they're doing well, and I cannot wait. I see my guest is on the screen. She's back studio, and I'm going to get her on there, and we're going to start our podcast. All right. 1 second here. Alaura Lovelight, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome to the Really Charlie Podcast. I am very happy to see you. And it's a pleasure. you are definitely a talented artist,
Thank you.
and along with you have the blessings in teaching people music, and so I've been trying to follow you as much as I can, and
Awesome.
I appreciate it. So let me give everybody an introduction while I fix my camera here. Everybody got to see the Really Charlie logo there. All right, everyone, I just want to give you a little bio about our guest here. This is Alaura Lovelight. She is an American R&B singer, songwriter, producer, published writer based out of New York City, where her debut single currently playing on the radio both nationally and internationally. She is also the CEO of Lovelight Sound Music, a music company that offers courses and workshops teaching musicians how to make consistent income with live music through strategy and consistency. Um, and teaches teens how to sing and perform, influencing confidence and life skills for free weekly confidence tips, music tips, exclusives on tickets and merchandise. Join her mailing list at www.lovelightsoundmusic.com and follow at Alaura Lovelight on all the social media platforms. She is also the founder of You Matter Movement, an anti-bullying program that she launched in several schools in the Northeast of the United States. So that's just a little bit of her bio, and I mean a little bit. She's doing well. So how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, anytime. I'm glad we got connected and set up the date. Your publisher, public relations person is super. Give her a high five when you see her. I really,
I
really appreciate
will.
it. And also I played your single Eroticy on the radio. I'm also on WMB1 radio, and I played it, and we liked it, and I'm gonna continue to play it every week, and let's just say you got an in.
Thank you. Thank you for playing it.
Yeah.
We appreciate all the support.
Yes, thank you, thank you. The I wanna kind of start this off with your single, So I want to put the video up. I want everybody to get a taste of your song, your music, and your lovely voice. So without further ado, let's put that on the screen here. Let's see. Here we go, folks. Eroticy.
I would like to get to know you, like my television, I remote control you. If you're lucky, I'll indulge you. Like my Gucci shades, you'll see what I could show you. Eroticy, so my ecstasy, my fantasy. Come marry me. Eroticy, synergy is my remedy. Come marry me. Touch my body like you know me. Touch my hand so I would know how you would hold me. You could be my one and only. Expeditious, so ambitious, I'm a trophy. Eroticy, so my ecstasy, my fantasy. Come marry me. Eroticy, synergy is my remedy. Come marry me. Eroticy, come marry me. Eroticy, eroticy, come marry me. physical excites me. I love fancy things, I'm pricey. My desire be my fire, come and light me. Erotic, you're my ecstasy, my fantasy. Come marry me. Erotic, synergy is my remedy. Come marry me. So sexy, that be me. You get what you see. Spirits free, get crazy, leave this galaxy. Just say we make believe we like royalty. My forte, let's foreplay, let the music play.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
Thank
Now,
you.
I just want to ask you, how'd you get started in music? How'd that come about?
I've been doing music basically my whole life. My mom she was a piano accompanist when I was born, and then she was teaching piano students, and now she is a public school music teacher. So that's definitely where my roots come from. There's no way that I would be doing music without her. So
Awesome.
shout out to mom, yeah. And
Yes.
and my whole family's kind of musical. My whole family's really creative. So my brother's in film. My oldest brother dances. We're all really creative. So I think that was just kind of our destiny. Mom was really creative. And that's kind of what happened for all of us. So yeah, music has been my life forever. I started playing piano when I was 4. And I loved it. I was kind of like a weird kid. I loved to practice. I couldn't get enough. I always wanted to sit down and play the piano, and it would be dinner, and my mom would say, "Come on, come on." And I just wanted to play. Every commercial that come on TV, my brothers would be like, "Stop playing the piano." And I always played. I loved it. I would sing. I would definitely make my family sit down and listen to me have a concert by myself. I've been doing it forever. I was singing in high school, and then I went to college for music, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and I worked in the film industry, for film scoring, and I wrote
Good.
music for films. And then now I've just kind of been doing my own artistry and running courses and performing. I love it, all of it. It's fun.
Yeah, I like I like everything from A to Z about you. You're doing well and
Thank you.
very inspirational. I like how you're inspiring young artists, musicians to do to just to make it. Well, it's not easy. It's not easy to be blessed, and that comes. But when you have a good instructor, somebody um, who's done the thing, who's done music, who's done, singles and very, very strong on social media, and it's good that you're there to help them and teach them the right way and to do things. And I really seen that when I was going through a lot of your platforms and got to know a little bit about you. Um, and head thumbs up, 5 stars to your dad in Yukon. Tell
Yeah.
him, yeah. I love it. I love it. It how I mean, I don't want to. How was that growing up with the huge success of Yukon over the years? Both on the women's side and the men's side. I mean, how was that for you?
Yeah, well, my dad was in the business department. So my mom was music and my dad is business. So music business kind of is in my blood. But yeah, that both my brothers went to UConn. I didn't. I went to a music school. But yeah, definitely UConn was a heavy hitter. And I've actually been back to do some interviews and some performances at UConn. So
Very
definitely
nice.
proud to be a part of that.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Yes. The I definitely want to help out with your join in. I should be on your newsletter already. I did that
Yeah,
already.
you're welcome. Come on.
Yeah. So we don't want to. I want to continue to support you and do all those things.
Thank you.
The me see. We've been doing quite a few shows, since the pandemic, and that's how
Mm,
the Really Charlie podcast came through. And
mm,
that's one positive thing about the pandemic is that we were able to communicate still, through platforms like this, and do a lot of good things. So what's your latest project? Other than the single, what are you looking to get into? Um, you know,
Yeah,
after
well,
the,
my company is always kind of moving and shaking. We do courses and workshops all the time for adults and teens and all of that. Just influence using music to kind of influence people and help them push past limiting beliefs and build confidence and things like that. But we are working on the next single, and the next single is coming. I'm not exactly sure of the release date. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I have some really kind of grandiose visions for the music video. And so when I get a vision, I'm pretty keen on the vision, no matter
Mhm.
what that takes. So I believe in kind of having it manifest to the best of your ability rather than, taking shortcuts and making it faster than it should be. So we're working on the single. I've been in the studio on the single several times now. It's probably about 50% done. The beat is pretty solid, and we have to lay down some vocal tracks. And we conceptualized the music video, so everything's moving in that direction. Definitely within sometime this spring will be a new single, and then definitely a full album before the end of 2022. And I
Ooh,
hope to go,
nice.
yeah, I hope to go on tour in the fall. Permitting things keep moving the way they're moving and stay open the way they are. And
Yes.
yeah, doing my courses and workshops and connecting with all the new fans. I'm really loving, just kind of having time to do the interviews and chat with people like yourself and
Good.
just really get to know, really plug in. And as people get to know me, I'm enjoying getting to know them as well. So yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna continue to stay in touch with you and definitely support you. And I gotta first and foremost say that I'm a fan. I really like what you're doing. And you just mentioned about your video. You got to make sure it's right.
Yeah.
And just like in songwriting, you have an emotion, you have
Mhm.
a sort of feeling, and it's the same with videos, I assume, with you. Now,
Yes.
did you write this latest single? Or
Erotica.
yep, or
Yeah, both of them I wrote. Eroticy I co-wrote with another writer, and then the next single that's coming I had written a few years ago, and then we kind of revamped it and picked it up a notch. So yeah, Eroticy I co-wrote with Ray Rothschild, who is formerly Sugar Ray of Double X Posse,
very
which
nice.
that was a big group in the 90s. And
Hmm.
they did the song Not Gonna Be Able to Do It, which was #1 on Billboard. And so his writing is on another level. He definitely challenged me to bring it to the table and do my best writing. And it was great. It was a really good kind of bouncing off of each other in terms of he would suggest something and then I would suggest something. It was a very fluid writing session. And the song got written in about one night. It was
Hmm.
one of those kind of writing sessions of we were kind of poking through my catalog of what I had and what we had to work with, what could be next. And I had a beat that I had done many years ago, just kind of to test myself on
Hmm.
different styles of music. And I played it, and just kind of on a whim. It really wasn't one of my favorites. I didn't think it was the strongest, but the vibe of it and the energy was the direction that my artistry was going. And so we followed it, and Eroticy came out of that. And I'm thrilled, beyond thrilled with what turned out. It's everything and more that I would have imagined for it. So I can't say anything better than that.
Very nice. Very,
Yeah.
very nice. The Yeah, I definitely want to ask you this. I'm a poet myself.
Thanks.
So, and I'm always writing on a daily basis. When it comes to songwriting, do you have to be in a set area? Does things come to you a whole lot easier? Because me, I can write anywhere. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I get inspiration from a lot of things. How do you get inspired?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like there's kind of two answers to that. So for myself, I agree. Like lots of things will spontaneous. My notes in my phone is kind of all sorts of different little sentences or ideas, and things like that. But I would say when I'm really cracking down on writing like the ins and outs of the song, I really like to be in a quiet space, just to kind of channel whatever energy that song is bringing up for me. And especially like a studio session, usually the song is mostly written by the time you get to the studio, but
Hmm.
I don't, it's hard for me to like really focus when there's a lot of people around or there's a lot of activity going on. I can have an inspirational thought, but to really be writing the song and focusing on the hook and the chorus and the verse and the this, it really takes me to kind of channel all of that into one place. And then if I have a writing partner or somebody who's contributing, then that's a collective energy. But I can't really do with all the craziness and
Uh-huh.
people out and loud, and no, that's not for me.
Okay. um One thing I've learned I learned something from Charlie Wilson.
Hmm.
And Charlie Wilson said that what he does is he writes the song.
Hmm.
Um and like he doesn't is the music, the beats, but he prefers to write his song first. And then he would introduce the music, and everything was is usually done by him. But one of the things that he said he likes to do, he hears it all in his head and he starts writing it, and then now he helps out with the music, and then magic happens, you
Yeah.
know. And I mean, the guy is phenomenal. One of the best shows I've ever seen in my life, with him, and he's doing well. But do you have certain beats that say, "Hey, I like that beat. Now let me try to write something." Does the music come first, or does the writing come first?
I try to challenge myself to kind of grow in every area that I think needs some work. So technically, like I'm classically trained, so for a very long time I have written at the piano, always and forever. Chord progression kind of comes from that, and then I'll build a chord progression around the emotion or the feeling. A lot of that comes from my background in film music, where anybody who watches a movie without music knows that all of the emotion that you feel, the intense or the scary or the sadness or whatever it is, comes from the music score.
Hmm.
And so a lot of my training in kind of really matching an emotion comes from writing film music, which I adore and I still love to do to this day. Or I love to watch a movie and be like, oh, I love this score. But that's kind of where that comes from. And then recently I have been really trying to stretch myself beyond that. And I know kind of the wave of the industry is beats and different kind of sounds that are not technically instruments and stuff like that. So I've been trying to get familiar with that, even though it's not really my forte. And to be honest, I'm an old soul. I love like
Nice.
real, I think there's nothing to replace like a real jazz quartet or a real combo. But in terms of being an artist in 2022, it's important to kind of know what the wave is and utilize my skills along with what's going on. So I do practice writing to a beat. I would say maybe 1 out of 4, 25% of my songs are structured that way, and the
Hmm.
other 3 or 4 are done, organically at the piano.
Nice.
Yeah.
Piano is one of my favorite instruments. I don't play it, but it's one of my favorites to listen to.
Yes.
And I took some lessons. It lasted about 30 days, and I have there was a phobia that got to me, and I couldn't do it, and it kind of
Mm,
hurt me because I love the piano, and
mm,
and I think that with the piano and writing, especially my you know my poetry, I can utilize the piano while I'm reciting the poetry, play the piano, and and kind of make it flow to what I'm actually feeling in my writing. So that was my main brainstorm behind playing the piano.
Nice.
But I actually didn't get to it, and but never say never. I can
That's
get back.
right. You gotta get back. You got time.
Mhm.
Yep.
So yeah. And now, speaking of the piano, was that a choice of yours or a choice of your mom's?
That's a good question. No one has asked me that.
Hmm.
It was definitely my choice. I was just mesmerized by the piano. My mother will always tell the story that like I wasn't a kid who like banged on the keys of the piano. I was very intentional about which one sounded like what. And my mom used to play a game. We used to play a game. I don't even know if this was fun for her, but I loved it.
Hmm.
And she would have like some M&Ms and she would play a note and I would run out into the other room and she would play it and I would come back in and find what note she played. And
Hmm.
then I would get an M&M if I got it right. And
Very
that's how my
nice.
ear, that's really how my ear, I got trained so well to really hear what note is what and my relative pitch, being able to know where the pitch and where the key and all the notes are. That's where that came from, that game for sure.
That's very nice.
Yeah,
Very, very nice.
I always have. And I'm sure she, heavily influenced it, but never made me, she never was like, you're going to play the piano. Never. No.
Okay. Wow. Now, when you when did you finally know that you had it?
With music,
Yeah. When did
I
you finally say this is me? This is what I want to do?
pretty early. I,
Yeah. All
I
right.
think that like music has been a rocky road. I mean, this is not for the faint of heart to pursue music and be in the music industry. But I I feel like it was something that I like couldn't not do.
Hmm.
There's been so many points in my life where I feel like I don't know what's next. Opportunities fall through, money gets spent, doesn't get, recouped the way I thought it would. So many things that, change and don't turn out the way you think and things like that. But I always would get to a place where I'm like, what else would I do? And the answer is nothing. I can't imagine doing something else. I would just be so sad. And I can't even imagine just like sitting at a desk job that I hate. I can't even imagine myself doing that. And every time I get to that lowest of the low, I would think about that and I would be like, no, I can't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Music calls me too strongly, it's in me. It's who I am. And it's a gift that I believe God gave me. And I take that very seriously. And I think it's my job to use it to, live a happy life and influence people to have a good life too.
That's interesting because Ray Parker Jr. when he had an interview, and I mean, I'm always following people on podcasts, documentaries, and one thing that Ray Parker Jr. said to his dad would tell him, "Hey, you got to have a plan B."
Mm,
And Ray Parker Jr. was saying, "I don't have a plan B. This is plan A. This is what I want to do."
yeah.
Just like you said, about being on a desk. He said, "I don't want to be on a desk or a cubicle. I didn't want to do that. I don't have a plan B. This is plan A. Music is what I love."
Yeah.
And he left Detroit and went to LA,
Yeah.
and the rest is history. So, but
I think plan B is a dangerous place to be because if you have a plan B, it's really your plan A because now you're already setting yourself up to that doesn't work.
exactly, that's a good way of looking at it.
Mhm.
Uh, I I want to ask you. We have a local group
Mhm.
in the city of New Bedford, Massachusetts, where I'm from,
Mm.
and the local group is Tavares, and they sang "Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel,"
Oh, nice.
more than a woman on Saturday Night Live, and
Nice.
so that's the group that we're proud of in this city, and there's a few others. One of the dancers, um, the Funky Bunch with Marky Mark, Hector
Oh, cool.
Barros. He's one of our childhood friends.
Oh, nice.
So we have some musical history in my hometown.
Awesome.
When you go back to your hometown, how's that feel for you? You probably getting asked many things to do. Recitals and
Mhm.
fundraisers and
Mhm.
performances. I mean, how do you deal with that?
I've done a lot of kind of work and study on the fact that, like, as an entertainer, as a performer, it's inevitable that there's more it's something that's such a huge blessing to say, oh, I just don't have time for everything. Like, what a blessing it is to be in that position. But I really firmly believe that what works out is what's supposed to work out, and
Hmm.
that the opportunities that are presented are the ones that are meant to be, that I'm supposed to be a part of. And I think it's important as a person and as an artist to not feel like guilty about, you can't give everything to everybody, because
Yes.
my job is, as a public figure, is to be my best for everybody. And so sometimes that means, I have to put myself first. Well, lots of times that means I have to prioritize my health and my happiness, and so that I can always show up as my best version of myself. And I
Exactly.
think that I do my best to know where that line is of, like, oh, I'm getting close to stretching myself too thin, or I've been stretched too thin. Let me kind of reel it in. And that's a balancing act. I think that every artist, every entertainer, every person in the industry constantly, it's not like a thing you figure out. It's a constant, okay, because as a creative person, you could go nonstop for hours and hours, and all of a sudden 4 days have gone by and you're like, I haven't moved from
Hmm.
this studio spot or this creative space. And you don't realize how draining that could be, because it does take a lot of energy to be creative. And so it's important to find the balance and just constantly be aware of where you're at and stuff like that.
Good. Good. Um, who's that go-to person or that person to kind of stop you when you're being stretched too thin? Who's that person that says, "All right, Alora, relax"? You can. And who is that? Is it?
Yeah,
Is it?
there's a few people.
All right.
One of my best friends, Abby, she's always the person I call. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm freaking out. And she's like, okay. Savannah, who's head of PR, she does she does my assistant stuff and public relations and everything. She's another person who, she's good. We balance each other, where she'll
Yeah.
be like, there's so much to do. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. And then I'll be like that, and she'll kind of settle me down. So I have some really, really wonderful people in my life that have been present for a lot of the journey, 2 or 3 people who are very strong pillars in my life that I call, and I reach out to, and I know that I can find. I'm kind of at the point where, like, if I can't get a hold of Abby, I'm like, I kind of know what she'll tell me,
Uh-huh.
because she's just been around for so long and really encouraging with my music. Same with Savannah and a few other friends. So I'm lucky. I feel very blessed to have such a great team of support behind me. Every artist needs that in order to be successful.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I got to talk to Savannah and try to get part of. I want to kind of push everything that you're doing. So I
Yeah.
want to be part of that. You guys send me an email. I want to kind of latch on that. Just between this platform here and I'm on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn. Also on the radio. So
Awesome.
that's something. I want to push as much as I can some of the stuff that you're doing, and so I'm going to talk to Savannah sometime this week. I'll send her an email just saying, hey, let's do this. Let's attach the right links to my platform, and
Yeah.
and you already got 1 million plus. So let's try to shoot for 2 million.
Everybody counts. No, but thank you. That means a lot. And like, it's funny you say that because people think you get to a certain milestone or certain whatever, and it's like, oh, that doesn't count, but it does. Every single person who contributes or shares or chats with me and lets the people kind of get to know me more, all of those things really contribute to the artistry and the company and the mission and the vision. So I appreciate that.
Good. Yeah, it's I mean, if I didn't hear this, if I didn't if we didn't hook up and get this podcast going, I probably I might have missed you until later on. I'm glad that I got it now, especially where I'm doing the podcast. And and you're running into people all the time. And you may say, hey, you wanna go on a podcast? Well, try Really Charlie's podcast. Reach out to him, and then.
Yeah.
And then I can have someone else on here.
Of course. We're definitely going to put this interview will definitely be on all the Lovelight Sound Music platforms, on the website and on the YouTube channel. We post clips of interviews on Instagram and on TikTok, so we'll definitely be
very, very, very nice.
Yeah.
And I usually ask my guest at the end of the podcast this question. And who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
Does it have to be a musician or
anybody you want? It could be your brothers telling me stories about you. It could be mom telling me stories about you.
Definitely have some stories.
Or it could be a musician, whoever you wish.
Yeah, you know what? My brother Daniel, he does film and he makes these amazing installations with art. And televisions, and he builds those. He would probably have a great conversation with you and a lot to contribute.
Oh, all right. So I'm gonna reach out to him.
Dan,
and try to set him up. I got quite a few dates for the end of April and May. So, if that's too soon, then we can, it could be done in the summer, whenever. But I'm gonna definitely do that and reach out to him.
Cool. That would be great.
I may need your help, but
we'll get you going.
I'll call Savannah, one or the other.
She's the go-to person. She's the person. She'll hook you up more than me.
Good. Let's see.
On Facebook.
Yeah. Let's see. It says, do you have that one person you dream of doing a duet with?
Yes. So many people.
So many.
I would say top 5 would be Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, Alicia Keys, Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge fan of Nas, the rapper.
Yep.
Who else? I wish I could have worked with Whitney Houston. She is my idol. Yes. I wish I could have worked with Michael Jackson. Hey. Mm-hmm. All of the Prince. I missed that one.
That's
But there's so many people. I always kind of tell people ask me that question a lot. And I often say that I try to focus more on the type of person that I would want to work with rather than who, because I really believe in manifestation and know that's really how things unfold. So I am careful to say, I wish I could work with so-and-so and they might be a jerk. But for example, Ray, I really had heard his music before, but I didn't know him really as an artist, and he's a brilliant songwriter. And so I try to attract the people that will make me better and make me a stronger writer, make me a stronger musician, who are fun to collaborate with, who are fun to be in the studio with, who it's easygoing, who are not super hard-headed about their ideas. And everybody kind of gets to collaborate equally. So those are the kinds of people. And if it happens to be Nicki Minaj and Lady Gaga, that's great.
That's right. I hope so. I hope all your dreams come true. All your everything that you possibly want. You definitely you're doing what you do, and you're also doing. You're trying to help others along the way, and I see that in you, just based on, doing some searches on you, and that's very, very nice.
Thank you.
So, all right. Well, Laura, I just want to, you have any last things you want to put out there? Please do. Um, and, I'm just going to continue to support you, like I said, and I'm going to also play your song every week, on
Thank
the
you.
radio station. And,
Oh,
it's an internet radio, and it's very, very soothing for me. It's actually my place, where I can just play some music and everyone enjoys it. It's
nice.
R&B music. I like a lot of old school, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And Earth, Wind, and Fire, that
Yeah,
sort of things. That's what I love.
nice. Good I'm in the company of some good music, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. I've loved seeing kind of the comments and hearing that people are tuned in. Thank you for your support, and thank you for playing the record. And we'll be in touch. I'll be around. I'm happy to kind of come back and chat. People can find me at Alaura Lovelight on all the social media platforms. So Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. All of those are at Alaura Lovelight. And then if they want to know more about the courses and the classes that I have, there's different workshops and different programs. Some of them are automated. Some of them you can go through by yourself, and some of them you meet with me, and we do like group coaching, all sorts of different things to help other people, teens and adults, to really pursue their passion and live their own dream. That I'm such an advocate for that. That's always kind of my goal, is whatever you love to do, you should be doing that in some form or fashion. And I really love and get a lot of fulfillment out of working with people to help them kind of break those barriers down. Because that's something I've had to do time and time again. So thanks for having me. It's been really great to chat with you.
This is great. Started off my week right with you, and I really, really appreciate it. Feel free if you want to hang backstage, if you have anything questions for me. Other than that, I'm going to download all this, put it on Anchor and Spotify, YouTube, and definitely, anything that Savannah needs, I'll send to her.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Laura. Good God, but God go with you, be with you. And can't wait for your new single.
Thank you. You'll get it first. Don't worry.
All right. I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. That was Alaura Lovelight. Definitely great musician, and I am so happy to have her on my guest. It's an honor. And so continue to support her, like she said, in all those platforms. And you know what? She could definitely probably teach a lot of you some things. We got a lot of musicians listening to the Really Charlie podcast. Please, reach out to her. You may do a good thing for yourself and help out her, maybe with something, but definitely reach out to her. All right. I'll see you guys Saturday on the Really Charlie podcast. Please tune in with my guest, Donna Cosby, and her book, several books, and along with all her meditation and everything that she has to offer to us. So, feel free to chime in. I really, really appreciate you guys. And as I always do, close with this great introduction from Peter Walker. And take care. I'll see you in a few days. Actually, I'll be back on Wednesday, 7 p.m. with the in regards to the Women's D League. Take care, y'all. Take care.
It's the Really Charlie podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.